And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Because all the blessings that we're going to get, which is entailing the kingdom of heaven. Isaiah the 60th chapter, I'm going to start at the 10th verse and read on down. It says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So the sons of strangers, that's talking about the actual strangers, the other nations, shall build up thy walls. We're going to have them in slavery. So they're going to be building the kingdom of heaven, because we're not building nothing. We're not lifting a hand to move nothing. It says, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. That's talking about the actual Gentiles. We're going to take all of their substance, and that their kings may be brought.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Verse 13, and the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, the box together, the beautify place of my sanctuary, and I will make Israel, the land of Jerusalem, is going to be made glorious. It's going to be made glorious once again. The kingdom is going to be built up. We had a taste of that during the time of Solomon's reign, which was for about 40 years. Verse 14, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord. The word Zion means monument, the monument of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shall suck the breasts of kings, meaning we're going to take all this substance. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord thy power, the Lord and thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring thee gold, and for iron I will bring thee silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. And I will make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and the power thy glory. The sun shall no more go down, meaning our kingdom is not going to go down. In other words, once we get back in power, we're going to be in power forever. The sun is never going to go down on our kingdom again. The sun is never going to set on our kingdom. We're going to always shine, and we're going to always be in that glory once we get into the kingdom of heaven. There's no more going back into slavery under the other nations. Esau's not going to rise back up and put us in captivity. Ham, Japheth, Ishmael, none of the other nations are going to rise up and take us down ever again. When we get on top this time, we're going to remain on top. Neither shall thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. So no more mourning, no more crying, no more vexation of spirit, no more weeping, no more hopelessness because of the condition that we're in as Israelites right now. Verse 21, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000. This is in the kingdom. So what is this talking about? We're going to have sex. Again, like I said, The 2/3 that are going to pass in this destruction, the 2/3 are going to come back through the 1/3 that make it. The Lord said, 2/3 shall be cut off and die, and the third will I bring through the fire. It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
We're going to show you 13 mind-blowing use cases.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Shah. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shah. All right. And what we want to get into this morning, this morning news and prophecy, okay, is dealing with, this war on energy, all right, which is going to have a ripple effect into the global economy. All right. And through the global economy, being affected by this war, all right, we know that the devil is going to use this opportunity to go ahead and crash this whole system, okay, to try to switch over to his New World Order, his MOTB, okay, which is the MOTB, all right, is going to be the requirement of all citizens of this New World Order, to continue on in this man's world, in this age, okay, he's going to require MOTB. So what we're seeing now with this war on energy, okay, is a very high chance, okay, of a global economic crisis, okay, because right now as things are business as usual and gas has only went up, a few cents, a few dollars here and there, okay, some more than others. Well, this thing is going to spiral, okay, into economic crisis, man. Okay, because this industrial, all right, commercial, okay, society runs off their oil. Everything is rooted back to oil. He created, all right, a system, okay, where oil is so valuable, okay, and these nations need, all right, oil to power, okay, their country, to power their grid, okay, to power their industries, to power their economy, you see, to where oil is a choke point, okay? And if you choke, all right, the distribution of oil, well, you choke the world economy, okay? So this devil, right now, what we see is the world economy is being choked, by this war, all right? This is an opportunity for the devil to go with his movement, and I don't see the devil, wasting this opportunity, because remember, Esau is on the time clock, man. He don't have that much time, you see, and the Lord is making this man speed this thing up, okay? So I want to get some precepts. I got some videos too, because it's a lot going on dealing with the oil, the Strait of Hormuz, the global economy, which is going to cause inflation, which is going to tank, all right, these world currencies, man, because it's all about a new world order with a new world currency, okay, a new world government, you see, and that's what the devil wants to push. But see, the Lord is getting ready to end Esau, Okay, so Esau agenda of New World Order is going to have to take the back seat to this war, because the war is going to cancel out this man's New World Order. Okay, everything that he wants to establish, the war going to cancel it out. Okay, so this devil is still operating, and he's going to bring about the MOTB, making mandatory. Okay, it's going to be civil unrest. It's going to be Jacob's trouble. These things are going to happen. Okay, as this war is going on, because what we have to understand about the war, all right, World War III, is that it's conventional. You see, when people think of World War III, they automatically think of the nuclear destruction. No, the World War III is going to lead to the nuclear destruction. But right now, it's a conventional war, all right? And you have all these nations, okay, in the back, and they're watching, all right, how this is playing out. Because the first phase of the war is the small hats in America, all right, going to war with Iran. And see, these nations are taking notes of this war, okay? And nations are preparing themselves to enter this war on down the line, okay? Because right now you're seeing verbal, all right? They're verbally letting you know who they stand with, okay? These nations are verbalizing who they're standing with, okay? But it's going to come a time, all right, where these nations are going to get into the fight. Because what you have to understand, you don't just wake up and go to war. There has to be preparations made, okay? So the war has started. Now these nations are preparing themselves to enter into this war. Okay, all these nations, they're making preparations with the possibility that they're going to have to enter into this war, and we know according to prophecy they are. Okay, so it takes months and time to get ready to mobilize and get things in ready. You know, stock up on reserves. Okay, before you go to war. Okay, you don't just wake up and go to war like America does. Okay, that's been America's strategy lately, because the Most High got America moving like a drunk man. Matter of fact, let's get that. You know, America is moving like a drunk man. Okay, no discernment. They're just waking up and going to war with every goddamn body. Okay, but these nations, you best believe, they're in the background making preparations to enter into this war, man. Okay, and eventually it's going to go nuclear, but before then, okay, the devil is going to make this MOTB mandatory. You're going to have Jacob's trouble in the mix of that, because MOTB is going to be this devil bringing order to chaos. Okay, so you're going to have the civil unrest, and what can cause civil unrest, man? Inflation, hyperinflation. Okay, currencies collapsing. Okay, grid outages. Okay, and all these things are linked to this war on energy, man. Okay, so when you let's go here. Let's get this in Isaiah. All right, so when you go to Isaiah 19, okay, because the Lord is making Esau bare. I mean, he's stripping him from secrecy, and he's stripping this man from wisdom, from wise counsel, man. Okay, these counsels that Esau is having, man, this is terrible. The way that this nigga is closing out is terrible, man, because the Lord is making this man bare. Okay, this is Isaiah 19:12. It says, where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? And who's the new Pharaoh? Esau, man. Okay, he's a new Pharaoh, all right, of spiritual Egypt, which is America, man. You know, it says, let them tell you what God plans. See, Esau don't know every move the Most High gonna make. Okay, Esau don't know the moves that the Most High gonna make. The Most High is making moves that Esau ain't planning. You see, this devil is having to deal with the Most High interrupting his plans. This is what this devil is fighting against, man. And he's gonna try to make the most out of the best of it, because this nigga, a lot of times, you know, Esau is trying to when you see this devil scrambling, okay, when you see this nigga doing all this pivoting here and pivoting there, man, okay, this man is trying to make something out of nothing, man, because there's things that's not going this devil way. Okay, this is not Esau's master plan being carried out to the T. No, this nigga is the Most High is interfering with Esau's plans. That's why it says, let them tell you what the Most High plans. See, them demons, all right, ain't giving Esau all the game of what the Most High doing. The demons, all right, are giving Esau counsel of what the Lord wants them to do. That's all they're getting. You see, Esau was just getting counsel from them demons of what the Lord wants them to do. They don't understand the things that the Lord gonna put in the game. Okay, that's why these devils, they started this war. Now it's something they can't contain. You see, because they're used to starting wars and managing wars, but this war now is something they can't contain. You see, now the Most High, His will, His prophecy. That's why we can look at what's happening and we can link all these alliances, all these nations speaking out. You got Russia and China, which has heavily armed Iran. You got Russia giving Iran intelligence, Turkey giving Iran intelligence to fight against the West. So now we're seeing the Lord's will begins to triumph over Esau's agenda. Okay, and his last move is this MOTB. That's his last move. Okay, so this devil doesn't know everything that the Most High, okay, is going to do as we get closer and closer to the end. There's things happening that this devil can't account for. Okay, it's of the Lord. Prophecy has begun. You see, it said what the Lord of heaven armies, all right, what the Lord of heaven army is going to do to Egypt. Okay, because if Esau knew for sure that America was going to be destroyed, why is he building all these goddamn data centers, man? Okay, America, all right, is like a data center hub. You look at all the, because the data centers is the brain of the new world order, because he needs those data centers to run this digital public infrastructure. Okay, so this devil in his mind, America is going to be here. He plans on America being much weaker. Okay, he plans on depopulating in America. All right, but this man is putting a lot of money into building data centers in America, man. Okay, and the Lord is going to destroy all of it. You see, even though the devil, he hears the prophet say this, man, in his mind, he's going to sidestep judgment, man. You know, he's going to upset prophecy. Okay, because this devil is building a lot of data centers in America, man. You know, it's almost 4,000 now. He is planning to build 3 more thousand, and there's only close to 11,000 in the world. Okay, so he's investing a lot of these data centers into America, man. Okay, like America just gonna be one big data center, and that lets you know too he plans to depopulate, because the data center need a lot of resources, man. Okay, that people need. Okay, so this man plans to do a lot of depopulation here in America, man. Okay, but going back into it, says, where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? Let them tell you what the Most High plans. What are the Lord of heaven's armies going to do to Egypt? The officials of Zoan are fools. The officials of Memphis are deluded. Okay, it says the leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. Okay, the leaders of the people have led Egypt astray, man. Okay, and you look at the leadership, especially with America, the elites, is foolish, man. All right, the fact that this man is trying to pull this off, it's a foolish idea. This ain't no great, wise, and terrific idea this nigga got. Okay, this nigga is doing nothing that we should be in awe of, man. This is foolish, man. The fact that he wants to replace the Most High with technology, the fact that he thinks that he can run existence without the Most High, that's foolish, man. Okay, and he's getting this counsel on the left-hand side because the Lord set Esau up for failure. Esau is being set up for failure, man. Okay, in his mind, he thinks that he has a shot at winning. Okay, but you look at it in the spirit, man, this man is set up for complete failure, man, to even try to pull this off, man. Okay, it says, and this man has opened up something that he can't contain. He can't contain this war, man. Okay, Esau is not in the driver's seat of this war, man. He can't contain this, man. Okay, from day one when he made this move against Iran, man, Hey, it's been a ripple effect, and things have moved fast, man. And it's speeding him up. It's making him have to rush. Okay, at least not setting the tempo, man. The prophecy is setting the tempo. Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is setting the tempo, man. And when day one of the war, when he killed, all right, that supreme leader, man, from then on, man, it's been a major ripple effect, man. Okay, and we're gonna get into some things, man. All right, and this devil, he's gonna try to capitalize off the chaos. Okay, and then that's it. He got one more move to make to try to capitalize off this chaos, and then he's out of there, man. Okay, because once he make this MOT mandatory, then this war can go nuclear any moment, man. Okay, it says verse 14. It says the Lord has sent a spirit of foolishness on them, man. There's a spirit of foolishness on Esau. Okay, look how Esau moving, man. Look who's in leadership, man. Okay, look at Trump and them, how they moving. They're puppets, man, but they represent the foolishness that's on Esau. Okay, they're just the logo of the foolishness that's on Esau, man. You look at Elon Musk and Sam Altman. You look at these niggas, man. These are foolish men. Okay, stumbling and bumbling in interviews, and they're trying to make the new world order sound like utopia, but they can't. It ain't. You see, they're trying to make it sound appealing, but then they get grilled on certain questions and they get to stumbling. Okay, they're the chosen people, but then they want to undermine the Most High. They chosen of the Most High, but then they want to undermine the Most High with technology. Okay, you ask one of these CEO small hat techs, which is supposed to be the chosen people. You ask them about the Most High, man. You get a 10-minute response all over the place, man. Okay, it's a foolish spirit on Esau, man. It says they cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit, man. So Esau is moving like a drunk man, okay, with a lot of power. Okay, that's why he's just blowing up shit. You look at how Esau is waging war. He just blowing up shit. You know, he don't have no military strategy. He's like a drunk man. Okay, he just blowing and bombing, but he really don't have no strategy, man. Okay, and you look at, all right, the other side, man, you see nothing but strategy, man. You see nothing but strategy, man, because the Lord is dismantling Esau's kingdom, man. Okay, and this MOTB is going to be this nigga's Hail Mary, all right, to try to salvage his fallen kingdom, man. It's going to be a Hail Mary, okay, attempt from Esau, man. This MOTB, okay. He's not casually, trying to set this thing up. No, he's panicking and trying to set this thing up. He's being rushed. The spirit putting pressure on Esau, prophecy putting pressure on this nigga, man. Okay, because before all this nigga was dragging his feet, man. Okay, he didn't know you could tell he was pivoting. He would go here, go there. But now the Lord threw this nigga into this, man. Okay. Now he just got to come on with it. Okay. Nigga Trump trying to surrender, nigga trying to get an off ramp. Okay. Esau done, man. This is the end of Esau kingdom. Okay, and we in the last days of this man's empire, man. Okay, so let's go here to Psalm. All right, get this in Psalm 73. Make sure. All right, yep, brother, got some precepts to water, brother. Oh yeah, I was just thinking about that too, bro. Yo, so let's go here to the brother GMS Tazadakia. All right, Yara 144. Okay, let's go here to Job 12 and 16. It says, with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and deceiver are his. Okay, so with the Most High is strength and wisdom, man. And he gives strength and wisdom to whom he wants. Okay, for his purpose, for his will to go forth in the earth. Okay, and there was a time when Esau, these devils, they were generations ahead of everyone, man. Okay, but prophecy done walk this nigga down, man. Prophecy done caught up with this nigga, man. He ain't got that advantage he used to have of being generations and all these steps ahead. Now prophecy is step for step with this nigga, man. Okay, prophecy got this nigga on lock, man. How them young Jays doing them defensive backs? They put their seatbelt on. Prophecy got the seatbelt on this nigga, man. Got this nigga strapped down, man. Okay, so all this deceiving he's done. Okay, but he's the big Esau is the Most High has it to where Esau is deceived more than anybody. All this deceiving that Esau has done throughout the earth, but the Most High got this nigga more deceived than anybody, man. Okay, the fact that he's trying to pull this off, man. Yep, it says Job 12:17. He leadeth counselors away spoil and maketh the judges fools, man. Esau is being made a fool, man. We're watching the Lord make Esau a fool on a global stage, man. Watching these niggas trying to surrender, watching these niggas trying to lie like they winning. Okay, he's watching these niggas being made a fool, man. Okay, you see these niggas are being spoiled, man. Okay, everything that these niggas, everything that Esau was trying to pull off, man, the Lord is beginning to intervene. Okay, he doesn't have their free movement like he once had. There was a time when Esau had a lot of free movement out here. He don't have that anymore, man. Okay, prophecy is step with step for this nigga, man. So when he make a move, now there's a reaction immediately. Reaction immediately now. Okay, it said he leadeth counselors away spoil and maketh the judges fools. Okay, verse 18. He looseth the bond of kings and girded their loins with a girdle. Okay, so Esau, Edom, okay, is being undone. Okay, he's being undone. Certain alliances as people start jumping ship, because see, a lot of the world function based off East America just being this super superior military power. Okay, so a lot of agreements was just based off straight fear. Babylon just being a bully. A lot of agreements and alliances was based off of it. Okay, but now they see the bully got a bloody nose. It's like now it changed the trajectory of everything. You see, now the globe is seeing the bully got a bloody nose. Now it's changing. These other nations are looking like, wait a minute, we can do something different, and it's the will of the Lord that they finna execute, man. Like, wait a minute, because America been a problem for a long time, but they just had to deal with America because they didn't want to deal with America's military might, man. Okay, but as they see America, is vulnerable, as they see America ain't invincible, okay, they see America ain't hyped up like they thought it was, man. Okay, the emperor has no clothes, as they say. Okay, so if these nations are seeing this, now they're reconsidering their stance with everything, man. Okay, now prophecy is in effect. Now these nations are going to get in line with prophecy, man. Okay, and Esau is finished. Okay, and it says, he leadeth princes away spoil and overthroweth the mighty, man. He leadeth princes away spoil and overthroweth the mighty. And this is what we're seeing, man. Esau is their prince that's being led away spoil, man. He's being overthrown right before our eyes, man. Okay, that MOTB, man, he gonna throw that Hail Mary off his back. Okay, now he's of course, now when it comes to civilians, because this down, he gonna have his way with civilians. You know, when he starts to implement his new world order and this, he gets draconian with his measures, he's gonna go crazy on civilians. Okay, because that's what he's been going to war with mostly. Okay, this last decade, man, he's really been warring with mostly civilians, man. When this man goes to war, he destroys a lot of the civilian population. Okay, because he wants to destroy the will and the morale of the people. Okay, and just make these governments tap out. Like, okay, nigga, now then you just gonna kill all civilians. But he really don't engage military for military like that, man. Okay? He ain't been doing that lately. The small heads, they ain't been engaging military for military like that. They've been doing what you call carpet bombing, man. Okay? So this devil, as he's taking this loss on the global stage, he gonna come spaz out on American civilians, man. Okay? He gonna come spaz out on American civilians. Okay? So it says, reading on verse 20, it says, he removeth away the speech of the trusty and taketh away the understanding of the age. And it says, he poureth contempt upon princes and weakening the strength of the mighty, man. Because Esau is being charged with contempt, man, because he's been rebelling against Yahweh Bashim al-Shai. So the Most High is holding this nigga in contempt. Okay? And dismantling this man. Esau is being prepped for judgment, man. And we're seeing the beginning phase of it, man. Okay? And like I say, a conventional war like this, man, can go on for some time. Okay? And you're going to see nations trickle into this thing. Okay? But before then, all right, this economic collapse, okay, is imminent, man. Okay? It has to happen. That's a part of prophecy, man. Okay? Let's see. Brothers lighting up. But yeah, I'm gonna segue to some of these videos as well. We get back to some precepts to why for you brothers tapping in, add to the screen. So let's go here because what we're seeing now is a war on energy because with this war, what we're going to see more and more as these nations fight, the gloves going to come off. Okay, so let's go into that. I said, what does it mean to take off the gloves? All right, what does it mean in war to take off the gloves? So what we're going to start to see in these nations, the gloves are going to come off. Okay, because this is real war. Okay, this ain't WWE. This is real war. All right, and this is an ancient rivalry between the small hats Amalek and the Persians, man. Okay, this is an ancient rivalry, man, that we've seen, man. Okay, that we're seeing playing out. There's a lot of hatred between these two people, man. This ain't these people hate each other. Okay, these Persians and these Amalekites, and they know the history. Okay, you go back to the Greek and Persian wars. Okay, and then even during the time of the Romans, all right, Romans, their main rivalry, all right, there was always a challenge to them was the Parthians, which is modern day Iran. Okay, and those Parthians, you see. So Esau and Elam has had an intense rivalry for a while. Okay, so there's a lot of real hatred within, all right, this war. Okay, there's a lot of pent up hatred within this war, and the Lord got it set up like that for His purpose, man. It says taking the gloves off in war means abandoning restraint, rules, or polite measures to engage in intense, ruthless, and often violent conflict. Okay, so what we're going to see as this war continues is they're going to start to take the gloves off. Okay, and they're going to become more intense, more ruthless. Okay, it said that it signifies a shift to maximum aggression where combatants stop holding back to win at all costs. This idiom implies abandoning caution and in some contexts ignoring conventional rules of engagement, because right now it's conventional. And pretty soon, but what we're seeing now is starting to transition into a war on energy. okay? And then eventually it's going to transition into a nuclear war, okay? After the MOTB is made mandatory, man. Okay, so right now they're conventional, and it seems like they're transitioning to energy war, to Strait of Hormuz. Okay, that's an energy war. Okay, and then you have small hats in America. They struck Iranian oil depots. Okay, so now Iran is striking Israeli oil refineries. Okay, and certain refineries amongst these Gulf coasts. All right, the GCC nations, man. Okay, so it's one thing when they're just stopping, all right, the traffic from the Strait of Hormuz. It's another thing when they start destroying global infrastructure. That's a whole nother crisis. When they start destroying energy infrastructure, that's a whole nother crisis. The ability to produce energy, that's on a whole nother level. It's one thing to stop the ships from going back and forth. Okay, that's a crisis within itself. But then to start to attack the global energy grid, that's a whole nother level of crisis, man. And they're beginning to do that. Okay, so let's go here. Let's play this. All right, because as you have people. Let's go here. So let's play this on some of the effects that it's having, you know, domestically. Okay.
Hello, everybody. David Schuster here. If you are heading to a gas station, be prepared for sticker shock.
You've seen a really epic rise in the price of gas, $3.48 right now. Just look, a week ago, it was below $3 a gallon, and it's dramatically more than it was last month and last year. The problem here is the price of oil. The price of oil overnight jumped above $100 a barrel.
Brent is up 12.5% right now. That is up to 104.30. Crude oil is up 12%. And if you look at this chart here, you can see that Brent is up 45% in a week.
And it's going to be worse for the price of diesel, which could jump 35 to 50 cents a gallon. That would put it close to nearly a $5 a gallon national average.
Diesel is what trucks use to transport most consumer goods. So the prices of all kinds of products are also about to rise. All of this is because of the war against Iran.
So the world is now a little more than a week into the largest oil disruption ever in history. The 20 million barrels a day that have stopped flowing from Hormuz to the world is twice the amount of the biggest last disruption, which was all the way back in the 1950s, believe it or not, the Suez Crisis.
Hormuz is a reference to the Strait of Hormuz.
It's only a 20-mile stretch of sea between Iran and Oman, and actually only a 2-mile wide sea lane.
Typically 80 oil tankers a day go through the strait, or about 20% of all the world's oil production. Now, because of the war, nothing is going through the strait. And it's stopping not just oil shipments, but also Middle Eastern oil production.
The problem is you've got these big oil producers in the region who have started producing less oil because guess what? Their storage facilities are full. They can't get them on any more ships because the ships are in the Strait of Hormuz. We are seeing a fifth of the world's energy supply just stuck, a bottleneck. A lot of experts, energy experts, never thought they'd see this, where you have maybe one ship in a week going through there when usually it's 80 ships a day.
Can't take another few weeks of this. I think we're going to see galloping further increases in oil prices, and it's going to start to hurt equities as well. So we all have to hope those tankers start up again.
Equities are another way of saying stocks and business shares. And the U.S. stock market has already plunged thanks to the oil crisis.
You have a stock market that is clearly rattled by an escalating war in the Middle East. And the big concern is an inflation shock because of dramatically higher energy prices. You talked about that crude oil price topping $100 a barrel overnight. Let me give you the number for reference. Before the U.S. and Israel launched airstrikes in Iran, oil prices were $67 a barrel. So in a matter of just over a week, 10 days now, you've had a dramatic increase in a very core cost for business and governments.
And the costs have not spiked this high in 4 years.
We're watching investor reaction on Wall Street to the war in Iran. Looking right now live at the big board, you see we're in negative territory there. A barrel of oil costs more than $100 per barrel. That's today, and that's the highest it's been since 2022.
You can see this chart over time. The last time it was this high was when Russia invaded Ukraine, and that height was at June of 2022.
June of 2022, that's the last time oil prices skyrocketed like this. And now the price per gallon of gasoline across the United States averages $3.48, up nearly 50 cents in a week.
Gas stations are seeing their costs go up in real time again today as oil markets are jumping, and that's going to mean another round of price increases over the course of this week. Prices could jump another 15 to 35 cents a gallon for gasoline over the next 3 days as long as nothing changes.
And that means if nothing changes and the Strait of Hormuz remains blocked off, the average price of gasoline in the United States could soon reach $4 a gallon.
The president shrugged off the rise in oil prices, calling it a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace.
What the CNN anchor did not read was that last line that Trump wrote, "Only fools would think differently." Well, American consumers are not being fooled by Donald Trump. And on top of the dramatic price spikes for energy, higher prices are also coming for food, consumer goods, and transportation.
It's not just gas, though, John. Jet fuel, right? Jet fuel prices have skyrocketed. United Airlines CEO warning that could raise the cost of airfare, and diesel as well. Diesel prices, they're actually up by even more than gasoline on a percentage basis, 24% increase. This is a 3-year high. And look, this is bad news for farmers, for railroads, for trucks, and ultimately, John, for consumers, because everyone is indirectly paying the cost of diesel when they're buying stuff.
Now, just as quickly as energy prices have gone up, they could also start to come down. The price of oil dropped below $100 per barrel at one point on this day, simply because leaders in Europe spoke about opening up their strategic oil reserves. Also, if the United States could somehow eliminate the Iranian missile attacks on cargo ships and protect the oil tankers that need to go through the Strait of Hormuz, energy prices would start to fall again. The Trump administration has promised to provide Navy escorts to all cargo ships trying to go through the Strait, and the cargo companies are reportedly considering it.
Turn on their ADS, their transponders. Do they have enough confidence to put at risk $100 to $250 million in cargoes? That's the biggest question. If we see that, oil prices could plummet by 15% rather quickly. But keep in mind, every day this situation has been ongoing. We've lost roughly 20 million barrels of oil and products that would have flowed through the market. As you've mentioned, oil-producing countries like Kuwait and Iraq already throttling back on oil production. So there's going to be some slack that still does not allow oil to fall back to its pre-war level for quite some time. Now, Secretary of Energy has said weeks. The president has illustrated weeks. I think it's going to be more measured and months. And every day the situation continues, it could add another several weeks to the recovery time.
Weeks, if not months, of high prices. And that's the sort of analysis that is causing heartburn for stock traders, investors, and anybody who has money on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was at 50,000 just a few weeks ago, has dropped nearly 7%. And the losses began piling up even before the Iran war began, thanks to horrible reports in the United States about the U.S. labor market and about declines in manufacturing. Virtually nothing in the U.S. economy is helped by higher energy prices. And the only question now is whether the damage to U.S. businesses and consumers remains severe and expensive, or whether the economic crash from the war intensifies and becomes catastrophic. By the way, I mentioned the plunging Trump jobs report. The recent numbers have left conservative news anchors and hosts stunned.
Non-farm payrolls, minus 92,000, minus 92,000. That is a biggie.
As you can see the market reacting, we are also seeing the unemployment rate tick up to 4.4%, a loss of factory jobs of 12,000, government jobs, a loss of 6,000. private sector jobs, a loss of 86,000.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Sarah, who wrote, "Why are they so surprised? Did they not remember his first disaster?"
Yeah, man. So this thing can get catastrophic quick. You know, this thing can become a dire situation quick. Okay, I got another video. If a brother could, I think that's the grind that shall cease. I believe that's I believe that's Ecclesiastes 12 and 1 or 2, Baba Shah. I'm gonna get this by the brother. All right, it's the brother GMS DC Tazadak. All right, yeah, Tazadak Yara 144. So lucky. It's Isaiah 19 and 15. Okay, and it says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head, tail, branch, or rush may do." You know, because things are going to come to a screeching halt. You know, which is going to create civil unrest, man. Hey, we could be at the doors for civil unrest, man. I'm talking about, you know, we coming into the Passover. Lord, will we make it there, man? And if the Lord allow us to have a Passover, man, you know, hey, the gates can open up. You know, our Baratazar, man, we always say, you know, may this be the last Passover, man. You know, but man, the way things shaping up and the way the Lord can accelerate things, man, hey, because the Lord ready to get this nigga out of power, man. The Lord ready to remove Esau, Edom out of power, man. That's what we have to understand. Damn what this nigga got going on and his plan. Nigga, you finna be out of here. Your plans don't matter. Okay? Your plans are getting to the point where they don't matter, nigga. We know, all right, that this war is going to bring this economy to a screeching stop. The global economy to a screeching stop, man. Okay? Which is going to create unrest. All right? And this nigga going to throw that Hail Mary with that MOTB. All right? And Yahweh Shai going to intercept it with them nukes and them chariots, man. Okay? Because this devil, he's finished, man. Okay? Yep. Verse 16. It says, "In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid, all right, and fear, because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which shaketh over it," man. The Most High is shaking his hand over Esau, man. Okay? The Lord, that's why the Lord raised up the prophets to tell Esau about himself, man, because the Lord was prepping, all right, for what he was getting ready to do. Now the Lord is going to start executing on what the prophet's been saying, on what he has had his prophets saying, man. The Lord is shaking the hand over this nigga and this wicked kingdom, man, and this wicked New World Order agenda, man. The Most High finna reject that shit. He finna slap that shit off the table, man. Okay, all these schemes and plots, and this nigga trying to do this, and the S&P and the Dow, and nigga, and all that confusion ass shit Esau got going on, man. The Lord finna slap this nigga empire off the table, man. Okay, and that's why he tricked Esau into this war, man. Okay, Esau thought this war was you know, a win. You know, he thought this was the way. Okay. But now, all right, it's getting out of hand quick. You see? And I'm talking about from the military aspect, man, because these nations finna pile up on Babylon. These nations finna pile up on Babylon, man. And they see Babylon is vulnerable as hell. The IDF, they're not even a factor. Okay? You know, they not even a factor when you come to military, man. Okay? So, you know, we seeing the Lord shake his hand over Egypt, man. Okay, and it's gonna get real hard over here, man. Okay, it's gonna be some dire situation. Okay, yep, because that's the why I'm putting on verse 1 too. Because as this word is going out, there's a chance to repent. You know, you Israelites, man, we in them times. You see? You got Jake still moving around like, you know, like in La La Land, like it's going to be forever. All just another war, shrugging your shoulder. This ain't just another war. Okay? This war, all right, going to turn Babylon to a desert. And before then, it's going to bring chaos. All right? in the earth, man, especially here in America, man. Okay, as you have this war on energy, man. You see, because these nations are going to start taking the gloves off, man. Okay, and the Most High got these nations to where they're going to start really getting grimy, all right, to win this war. It's going to become a real grimy, all out, dog fight, man. Okay, and it's going to wreak havoc, okay, on the global economy, okay, and it's going to cause civil unrest. It's going to cause scarcity. It's going to cause famine, okay, pestilence, because also Esau released pestilence, but then you have actual diseases increase when there's famine. So it's going to be pandemonium, okay? Ecclesiastes 12:1, it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the year draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, okay? Because right now the Lord finna take the pleasure out the earth, man, okay? The Lord, this thing finna shift gears, man. Finna get real scarce. It's finna be real dystopian. It's finna be real uncomfortable, man. Okay? Ecclesiastes 12:4 says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. All right, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music, okay, shall be brought low. Okay? Verse 3. Yep, that's the point. It says, verse 3, Ecclesiastes 12:3 says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, which the keeper of the house are the economists. Okay, you're going to the word, house. Okay, I think that's in the Greek. Okay, or steward. It goes into a word that resembles economy. Okay, and it says, and the strong men shall bow down themselves, and the grinders shall cease. Yeah, the rich men. Because it's people that's finna go broke instantly. People with wealth that's finna go broke. Okay, because if you're not in the inner circle of these oligarchs, man, okay, your wealth is going to vanish. You see, when this place collapses, if you're not of the upper echelon of these oligarch Edomites, man. Okay, it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are few. Okay, and the grinding shall cease, and that represents the job market. Okay, because in the ancient world, when you will walk up, when you get close to the city, you can hear, okay, the blacksmith, the silversmith, you can hear, wood being cut, you can hear the work going on in the city. Okay, but if you walked up, on the city, on the village, okay, a town, and you didn't hear nothing, the grinding ceased. Okay, either it was after work hours or that it was through. Okay, in this case, America's gonna be through. The grinding gonna cease. Okay, the job market, they are already telling you about the job market has already been under attack. Okay, by the AI, and it says, and those that look out the windows, okay, be darkened. All right, you have this thing, what you call the future markets, where they look out, and they project how the market gonna perform and this and that. But these things finna go dark, man. Okay, we're about to watch these things go dark. Okay, the job market, the economy, these things are finna go dark. Okay, so let's play this, because this is going into how now they're beginning to take the gloves off, man. Okay, as Iran's oil, okay, infrastructure and depot has been targeted now. Okay, these Gulf states and these small hats, okay, oil infrastructure, okay, are being targeted, man. All right, see, this is on another level than just blocking the scrape, because if these oil infrastructure destroyed in their region, well, you can open the strait up, can't nothing come out, because they got reserves, but as much, okay? Because I think the world, all right, capacity for oil, man, it's a lot, man. You got to think about running the earth on reserve. The reserve's not gonna last that long. Okay, and then it's going to cause these nations to do shutdowns and businesses to close and to try to stretch out these reserves. Okay, cities, whole cities going to have to be shut down to try to, all right, reserve, man, to have reserve, man. So it can get real chaotic soon, man. If this Strait of Hormuz continue, man, because this is a war on energy, and then they're beginning to destroy energy infrastructure, man. That's a whole nother level. Okay, so let's play this.
This morning, a 90-year-old company stopped working. Not slowed down, not reduced output. Stopped completely and sent a legal notice to every customer on its book saying, we cannot fulfill your contract. We cannot guarantee your delivery. We cannot tell you when we will be operational again. That company is Bapco, Bahrain Petroleum Company, the only oil refinery in the entire Kingdom of Bahrain. A facility that was just modernized with a $7.3 billion upgrade, boosted to process 400,000 barrels of oil per day, designed to produce the jet fuel and ultra-low sulfur diesel that keeps planes flying and trucks moving across Asia and Europe. This morning, Iranian Shahed drones found it. The fire that erupted at the Al Mamir facility lit up the Manama skyline for hours. Thick black smoke visible from highways across the island kingdom. Every emergency response unit in Bahrain mobilized simultaneously. And by the time the flames were being contained, Bapco had already issued the legal document that sends shockwaves through global energy markets, force majeure. 2 words that in normal times appear in contract law textbooks. In wartime, they mean something far simpler. We have been hit, we are down, and the world's fuel supply just got smaller. Bapco joins a growing list of Gulf energy giants that have now declared force majeure in the past 10 days. Qatar Energy declared it first, halting exports from the world's largest LNG plant, removing 20% of global liquefied natural gas from the market overnight. Kuwait followed with production cuts. Saudi Arabia's Ras Tanura refinery, one of the largest on earth, closed after Iranian strikes. And now Bahrain's only refinery, freshly upgraded, newly modernized, worth billions, offline. One by one, the energy infrastructure of the richest oil region on the planet is going dark. And the number that captures what that means for every person alive on Earth today is this. Brent crude oil hit $190 per barrel this morning. That is 60% higher than the day this war started 10 days ago. 60% in 10 days. The largest sustained oil price surge in over 50 years. Bloomberg confirmed this morning that $6 trillion in global stock market value has been wiped out since February 28th. $6 trillion gone. Not from one country's markets, from every market simultaneously. Japan's Nikkei down 7% at its worst point today. South Korea's Kospi down 8%. Germany's DAX down nearly 3%. London's FTSE down 2%. US stock futures pointing lower before Wall Street even opened. Samsung, one of the world's most valuable technology companies, watched its shares 12% as the markets opened sold because Samsung needs energy to run its factories. Samsung needs jet fuel to ship its products. Samsung needs a functioning global supply chain. And this morning, the global supply chain is not functioning normally. This is not a Middle Eastern problem anymore. This is a planetary economic emergency playing out in real time. And it started with a drone hitting a refinery on a small island in the Gulf that most people couldn't locate on a map before today. Iran's message to the Gulf states today was delivered not through a diplomat, not through a press release, through the smoke rising from Bapco's Al Mamir facility. The message was specific and it was public. If you can handle $200 per barrel oil, stay with Trump. If you cannot, separate yourself from this war. That is not an interpretation. Iran's leadership stated it directly. Stand with them.
So Iran told these Gulf Arab states, look, unless you can stand $200, all right, barrel per oil, okay, stay with Trump. But if not, so you better separate yourself, and which is going to form that alliance of the dragons of Arabia in the second Esdras, okay, 15 and 30. It's gonna force these nations. The Lord is forcing His prophecy in the earth, man. Okay, the least they gonna make they play with the global economy crashing. They gonna make they play, okay, but the Lord's gonna make His play and cancel out everything that these devils, all right, are trying to establish with this war. Because once He make, like I say, now prophecy is step for step with this nigga. Okay, he started this war, and the Lord immediately started expanding the war immediately. The Lord expanded this war because He just wanted it to be between Iran, America, and the small hats. No, nigga, everybody finna get in this one. Okay? You know, so the devil, when he makes the MOTB, this war is going to go nuclear, and the Lord going to cancel out everything this nigga trying to establish, man. Okay? And this is a perfect opportunity why you have a war on energy, man. And these global markets are going to start to collapse. All right? These different nations are going to begin to go dark, man. Okay?
America and absorb the consequences in your own energy infrastructure, or recognize that the bases on your soil are the reason your refineries are burning. This is the strategic logic that Bahrain failed to calculate correctly when it became confirmed the first Gulf state to fire missiles directly at Iran during this conflict. That decision, taken by one of the smallest and most exposed countries in the region, opened a door that has not closed since. Iran's response to Bahrain being the first Gulf aggressor was to systematically target Bahrain's most valuable economic asset. And this morning, that targeting produced a force majeure declaration that will ripple through global fuel markets for weeks. Now, here is the oil storage reality that makes the BAPCO strike even more consequential. Qatar's energy minister, Saad Al-Kaabi, gave an interview to the Financial Times this week and said something that every oil trader and energy analyst on the planet highlighted immediately. He said, "Every Gulf energy exporter that has not yet declared force majeure, we expect will do so in the next few days if this continues." He projected oil could reach $150 per barrel, and he warned that all regional producers could be forced to halt production entirely.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, and I'm the CEO of Phoenix Energy. I look forward.
Not reduce, not cut, halt. When the energy minister of the world's largest LNG exporter says that publicly, it is not speculation. It is a man with direct knowledge of regional infrastructure telling the world what the trajectory looks like from inside it. The G7, the 7 largest advanced economies, responded by announcing discussions about releasing petroleum reserves through the International Energy Agency. The coordinated reserve release is designed to inject approximately 400 million barrels of emergency stock into global markets to prevent oil from going further vertical. But here is the arithmetic problem with that response. 400 million barrels sounds enormous until you do the math. At current global daily consumption, 400 million barrels buys approximately 10 to 12 days of supply coverage. After that, refineries burning still exists. Japan understood this arithmetic immediately. Japan's government issued emergency orders today to release oil from its national strategic reserve. The emergency stockpile kept specifically for scenarios where normal supply is disrupted. Japan is entirely dependent on imported energy. Zero domestic oil production. Every factory, every car, every heated home runs on fuel that arrives by ship. When those ships stop coming through the Strait of Hormuz, Japan does not have an alternative supply waiting. It has a reserve. And this morning, Japan started spending that reserve. South Korea's president issued public warnings against panic buying and hoarding at gas stations. The Philippines Stock Exchange reported sharp losses. Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia. Every Asian market opened in red this morning. Meanwhile, Mojtaba Khamenei, Iran's new supreme leader selected just yesterday, the son of the man America killed to start this war, has inherited a country whose military is operating at full autonomous capacity, whose weapons factories are running at double production, and whose strategic objective is now explicitly stated as driving oil to $200 per barrel as the mechanism to make America's continuation of this war economically and politically impossible at home. Trump's response to $114 oil? He posted on social media that prices will drop rapidly once Iran is destroyed. He called people who are concerned about rising prices fools. Gas in America was $1.85 a gallon in Iowa when Trump stood at the State of the Union and bragged about energy prices. Today, the national average is approaching $4, and analysts project it crosses that mark within weeks. The gap between $1.85 and $4 is not an abstraction. It is every American family filling their tank, every small business calculating delivery costs, every airline repricing tickets, every grocery store repricing everything that arrived by truck. Let's put the full picture together. Because today, March 9th, 2026, day 10 of this war, something crossed a threshold that changes what the next phase of this conflict looks like. The war started as a military confrontation between 3 countries. Today, it became a global economic crisis with a confirmed $6 trillion price tag that is still actively rising. BAPCO force majeure, Qatar energy force majeure, Kuwait production cuts, Saudi Ras Tanura closed, Bahrain desalination plant struck, Tehran oil depots burning, black rain falling on residential streets, Japan spending its emergency reserves, South Korea warning against panic buying, Germany's industrial sector staring at energy costs that threaten factory viability. Every airline stock in the world falling simultaneously because jet fuel is tracking toward prices that make commercial aviation economically marginal. This is what $119 oil does, not just to people filling their cars, to every interconnected system in a global economy that was built over 50 years on the assumption that Gulf oil would flow reliably through the Strait of Hormuz forever. That assumption is being destroyed one force majeure declaration at a time. The market analyst at SPI Asset Management described what traders experienced when markets opened this morning. The oil alarm bell. And this time, it was not a polite chime. It was a fire siren. Qatar's energy minister projected $150. Analysts at KPLR projected $150 by end of March if the strait stays closed. The strait has shown no signs of reopening. Iran has stated explicitly it will target any American or Israeli vessel attempting transit. And the new supreme leader, whose father was killed by those vessels' country, is not in a mood to negotiate. France's President Macron called Iran's President Pezeshkian this week, asking him to stop the strikes. Iran's response was a question. Did you condemn America when it killed 170 children in a school? Did Europe stand up? Did anyone say the word accountability for what was done to Iran before asking Iran to stop responding? Nobody had a good answer to those questions.
Exactly. All right. So get your ass off the phone. Okay? Nigga, we at war. Nigga, if you ain't fighting, nigga, pick a side or sit your ass down. Okay? That's the spirit I ran in. Nigga, pick a side or sit your ass down somewhere. Okay? Nigga, y'all need to be talking to them. Nigga, everybody want to call Iran, nigga. Call some small hats, nigga. Call America, nigga. They kick this off. Okay? They finna have y'all niggas in the dark. Okay?
The Swiss government formally stated this week that the American-Israeli strikes on Iran constitute a violation of international law. The Pope called for the bombs to stop. The UN Secretary General called the attacks awful. China with flames of war spreading. Russia confirmed it is actively helping Iran. And America's own National Intelligence Council, its premier intelligence assessment body, formally concluded that this war was unlikely to achieve its stated objectives. Every institution with credibility and independence is saying the same thing. The war's premise was wrong. The execution has produced the opposite of its stated goals. The economic damages, now global and accelerating. The military objectives, regime change, nuclear program elimination, regional stability, are further from achievement on day 10 than they were on day 1. Bapco's fire is still being contained on Bahrain's Sitra Island as you watch this. 90 years of operations, $7.3 billion of recent upgrades, 400,000 barrels of daily capacity. This morning, offline, force majeure, contracts canceled, deliveries suspended, oil at $119, $6 trillion gone from global markets, Japan spending its emergency reserve, and Iran's new supreme leader, the dead man's son, watching it all from Tehran. He has not asked for a ceasefire. He has not moderated his position. He has stated his target, $200 oil. He is currently at 119. The distance between those two numbers is the distance between where this war is today and where Iran intends to take it. The world has 10 to 12 days of emergency reserve coverage once the G7 releases its stockpiles. After that, the math runs out. And the fire at Al Mamir is still burning.
So let's go from there. I got a few videos. Okay, but like I said, it's a war on energy now. You know, and these nations take the gloves off more and more. Okay, you can see more damage done to, all right, these oil infrastructures, man. Okay, and then he said something else. Let's go here, real. Let me pull this video up, and then we'll get that. You know, so when these small hats, you know, they struck, you know, Iranian oil fields and depots. Okay, well now Iran is striking Israeli, all right, oil fields and depots. Okay, so now the gloves are coming off, man. Like I said, Esau done started something and it's accelerating. He gonna have to hurry up and throw his MOTB in the mix. Okay, Most High putting pressure, maximum pressure on Esau, man. This nigga gonna have to hurry up and throw this MOTB in the mix, man. Okay, because these nations are really going in it. You see? Now, like I said, it could be an off ramp somewhere in the mix, so that can happen. That can happen as well. Or the more can let this thing just keep going and going and going. All right. And put this pressure on the devil to come with the MOTB. Okay. Now Russia can broker some type of big peace deal on the line, and things so-called get copa steady. We'll see. Okay. We'll see, man. Time will tell. All right. But as where we stand now, the way that they're going, man, hey, it can be a crisis quick. Okay. A week from now, 2 months from now, So so you have this term that he was using, all right, force majeure. Okay, and when you go into that term force majeure, okay, it says is a contractual clause freeing parties from liability when unforeseen, uncontrollable events like natural disasters, war, or pandemic present them from fulfilling, okay, obligations. It excuses non-performance, allowing for contract suspension or termination without penalties, man. And these Gulf states are having to issue these force majeures to all their clients. All right, the people that they usually send oil to, well, they having to issue these force majeures because they can't fill the obligations because the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Okay, and war, all right, is a reason that they can cause for force majeure. Okay, so the Gulf Arab states, they're not able to fulfill their obligations, man. Okay, and at least they're gonna have to pounce on this, man. Okay, with this MOTB, you see. So, let's go here. Let's play this.
There are moments in history where the fog of war clears just long enough for brutal moment right now. Last 48, the Islam stating that it has literally plunged the Israeli entity into darkness. We are talking about the 34th wave of Operation True Promise. And let me tell you, this was not a pinprick.
As the Iran war continues, the U.S. and its allies have a problem, a drone problem.
Iran has targeted fuel refinery in Israel's Haifa area.
Israeli fuel facility in Iran's crosshairs. This is what Iran says. Israel's oil refinery has been targeted.
This was a strategic knockout. Using the long-range, stealth-capable Arash drone, Iran successfully demolished the Haifa oil refinery and its adjacent power plant. The footage coming out of occupied Palestine is nothing short of apocalyptic. The sky over Haifa glowing a deep, horrific orange as these massive fuel storage facilities, the lifeblood of the Israeli war machine, were turned into towering infernos. This wasn't just an attack. It was an execution of critical infrastructure. For years, the occupation regime has used the Haifa complex as a strategic asset to fuel its aggression against the Islamic Republic and the Palestinian people. Built during the British Mandate period to pump Iraqi oil, this facility has historically been a tool of colonial power. And in modern times, it has directly fueled the tanks, the jets, and the ships that bombard our region. Targeting it was not just a military necessity. It was an act of historical justice in retaliation for the endless aggression against Iran's sovereignty. While the regime in Tel Aviv tries to censor the news and pretend they are in control, the reality is that Benjamin Netanyahu is watching his country burn. Reports from Iranian news sources and field intelligence indicate that the sheer scale of this firestorm has paralyzed northern occupied Palestine. And while Netanyahu pleads with the United States for an off-ramp and a ceasefire, the protests in Tel Aviv are growing louder. The settlers are trying to flee, and the regime is crumbling from within. If you are watching this and you believe in honest journalism, in reporting the truth that the corporate media refuses to show, please smash that like button.
You don't know what an AI work management platform is? Okay, let me tell you. Here's 3 new AI-powered
Share this video far and wide and subscribe to the channel. We need your support now more than ever. Now, let's dig deeper into the mechanics of this historic strike, because understanding the weapon is understanding the message. The drone used in this operation, the Arash, is a marvel of modern aerospace engineering that has the so-called Iron Dome looking more like a rusty sieve. Unlike the Shahed models we often discuss, the Arash is specifically designed for one purpose: to erase strategic targets deep inside occupied territories. As reported by military analysts, the Arash 2 variant has an extended range of over 2,000 kilometers, carrying a 150-kilogram warhead designed for maximum destructive power against fuel reservoirs and power grids. What makes it truly undetectable and terrifying for the Israeli command is its low thermal signature and its ability to fly complex terrain-hugging profiles. It was designed with the specific intention of striking Haifa and Tel Aviv. While the regime's sensors were busy trying to block images of the flames, these drones were swarming the refinery complex, completely overwhelming their defense systems. To truly grasp the significance of the Haifa oil refinery, we must look at its ugly colonial history and how it functions as a direct cog in the machine of genocide. This refinery isn't just a civilian power plant. It is a military asset that has been soaked in the blood of the Palestinian people for decades. Established in the 1930s by the British and the Iraq Petroleum Company, it was built to export oil from Kirkuk, effectively stealing the resources of the Muslim world to fuel Western empire. After the occupation of 1948, it was nationalized by the Israeli regime and has since been the primary hub for processing crude oil to power their military aircraft, their Merkava tanks, and their naval vessels that blockade Gaza. By striking this facility, Iran has effectively severed the Achilles tendon of the Israeli military. You cannot fight a war on 7 fronts when your tanks are out of gas and your grid is offline. This was a direct response to the regime's constant threats to target Iran's oil infrastructure. They started this economic warfare, and the Islamic Republic has finished it. The ripple effects of this strike are being felt at gas pumps in New York, London, and Tokyo. Global oil markets are in a state of sheer panic. Even Western outlets are quietly admitting that Brent crude has breached historic thresholds not seen in years. The simple truth is that when Iran demonstrates its power to dismantle energy infrastructure, the world's speculative markets react with, and the United States is facing an energy crisis that goes straight to the heart of its economy. The American people, who are already struggling with the cost of living, are now being dragged closer to the brink of a regional war because of their government's blind support for Netanyahu. The risk premium on oil has exploded because the world now realizes that the security of the Persian Gulf is guaranteed by Iran, not by the United States Navy.
Some breaking news now just coming out of Israel, where it's being reported that rockets have fallen in several areas in the center of the country. Let's go straight over to Noor Aude. She joins us from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. And Noor, what are we hearing about the impact of those fallen rockets?
Well, we're not.
And that's pretty much the point with that. You just see how, they're going back and forth. Now they're attacking each other's energy infrastructure, okay, power grids, okay, oil refineries, okay, and then next, you might hear about these water desalination plants, okay, which these small hats, okay, and these GCC nations, they depend heavily, okay, on those water desalination plants, okay, to turn their salt water into drinkable water, okay, because it's the desert, you see. So yeah, we're going into the thick, this war, is constantly escalating, it's escalating quickly, you see. So and it's going to have a major effect on the global economy at this rate. If things continue going at this rate, it's going to have a major effect, okay, on the global economy, man. Okay, and this is going to be the elites, golden opportunity, okay, to make their move with their MOTB, okay. And once they do that, man, expect things to even speed up more, okay. So let's go Let's go here. Let's get this in the book of Psalm 73. Okay. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. This is Psalm 73 and 18. And this is NLT. It said, truly, you put them on a slippery path. Okay. And this the Most High got Esau on a slippery path, man. And now this man is he's spiraling out of control, man. He's slipping. Okay, this man is staggering, trying to throw this new world order, man. He's staggering into it. Okay. It says, and send them sliding over the cliff to destruction, man. You see? So this man has opened up something that he can't, all right, reverse. Okay? And the Most High is pushing this man off the cliff. Prophecy is pushing this nigga off the cliff, man. You know? And his attempt to be the Most High, okay, with his overrated ass technology, man, the Most High gonna force this nigga on the path, okay, and he's gonna slide off the cliff, man. Okay, he says, in the instant they are destroyed, completely swept away by terrorists. Okay, completely swept away by terrorists, man. You see, because when this war goes nuclear, man, this man's kingdom is going. What scripture say? He's seen Satan fall like lightning. He's seen Satan fall from heaven, from rulership like lightning, man. You know, it's going to build. This thing is building up to a swift removal, okay, of Esau's rulership, man. Okay. And this man that has terrorized the earth for all this time, now terrorists are going to be, all right, meet him at every side, man. Okay? And this the point, verse 20. When you arise, O Lord, you will laugh at their silly ideas. Okay? You will laugh at their silly ideas, man. Okay? So this new world order agenda is a silly idea by the elites, man. Okay? And this idea to start this war, it was silly, man. But it's beautiful for the sake of the hopeful elect. Okay, on his part, it's a silly idea for the devil to do this. Okay, as a person laughs at dreams in the morning. Okay, as a person laughs at dreams in the morning, man. So this is a joke, all right, to the Most High, man. What the devil is doing. Okay. This is a complete joke, and he's looking like a joke more and more. Okay, Trump with that dumbass, that white USA hat, that big ass hat he be having on at the press conference, man. Okay, straight joke, man. All right. But that's the point. You know, I leave it there. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave it there. So Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful. Shalom.